start this recipe by adding 2 beets to some boiling milk. This is 2 small beets that I've already grated, and then we're using 2 liters of milk here. Give that a good stir. We're going to cook the beets in the milk for about 15 minutes, and in no time at all, our perfect cheese will be ready. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. The milk is a beautiful light pink color, and the texture is absolutely perfect. We're going to keep the heat on low. And then over here, I've got my immersion blender, and I'm going to blend all of those beet pieces in with the milk. Once that's well blended and well combined, this step of the recipe is done. You should see the beet pieces should be barely noticeable at this stage. Boil the milk for a few more minutes here. In the meantime, grab yourself a lemon, and we're going to squeeze it well to extract all of that delicious lemon juice. The juice of 1 lemon is enough for this recipe. If the lemon is small, you can squeeze 2 lemons before adding it to the milk. The next step is to remove the foam from the milk using a spoon. This foam is a totally normal part of the cooking process. You also want to try and remove any larger beet pieces that might be floating around on the surface there. Carefully remove and discard all of that. This process does need patience to make the cheese more flavorful, but it's totally worth it. Keep removing all of the foam from the milk. And then we can add in the juice of our lemon. The lemon is going to help curdle our milk. As soon as you add the lemon, the milk is going to curdle very, very quickly. The cheese is just going to have such a beautiful color. Now just cook that for a few more minutes, and then we can turn off the heat. For this next step, we want to separate the curds. So just use a strainer for this step. After that's well separated, we're going to take those curds and add them back into a pan or a pot. Simple and easy. Now we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of butter. Let's turn the heat up to medium, and we're going to cook all of that with the butter. Stir well until that whey is nice and dried out. We're probably going to need about 10 minutes for this step. And after cooking until the whey is nice and dried, this step of the recipe is done. The texture of this cheese is going to be absolutely perfect. I promise it's worth it. Now we're going to turn off the heat, transfer that cheese to a large bowl. This cheese is so tasty and delicious. Can you believe our cheese is almost ready to go? That took no time at all. Go ahead and press that cheese well before we pop it into the refrigerator. Now we're going to let it cool in the fridge for at least 3 hours. Okay, after 3 hours, our cheese is ready. Now this cheese does look quite different. During the cooking process, you can also season the cheese with herbs and salt, whatever you want. But let's cut a generous slice and serve that on a plate. Call your family to try this cheese. The texture is absolutely amazing. Serve it with a good coffee and enjoy your meal.